Pro wrestling talk from the four corners of parts unknown. This is That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. I am the podcaster general, but you can call me Jason. And before I introduce the rest of the guys, I want to read an email that we got at thatwrestlepod@gmail.com. It says, I have only listened a couple times, but why don't you introduce the other guys on your show like you introduce yourself? Other shows do it, and I thought it was weird you did not. Also, Kevin seems like a nice guy, and that's from Ryan. And I don't know if it's like female Ryan or male Ryan, but you know. So
I like Ryan.
Ryan, there's no reason why. I guess I could blame it on my only child syndrome.
That's what we blame it on.
Have any of you felt slighted in 26 weeks that I don't give you the big introduction at the beginning of the show?
No, I've never even noticed.
I'm the baby brother, so I've always been slighted my entire life, so it never bothered me.
So I will try to do better. And because of that email, I figure every week moving forward, we'll do a little introduction. We'll start with Kevin.
Oh,
you had a big week. You went to Louder Than Life. Let's talk about that. Explain what Louder Than Life is in case somebody doesn't know.
So Louder Than Life happens to take place in Louisville, Kentucky, where I used to live. It is a multiple day rock and metal festival. Started off 7 years ago. This is the 7th year. It got canceled a couple years ago because of extremely bad weather. Last year was canceled because of COVID. So it's like the 7th calendar year, but actually the only 5th time it's taken place. First year headlined by Kid Rock. I usually drag my wife every year. And then when I found friends, back in Louisville that liked the same music I did, she was happy because she didn't have to tag along with her pushy husband to go stand for 10 hours each day. But yeah, it was great. I fell into some free tickets. Free doesn't happen very often nowadays. $250 weekend passes.
Wow.
100% for free. Thanks to my buddy Tim back in Kentucky. But yeah, I'll sum it up. Some amazing artists, including, we do a wrestling podcast. One of the best acts overall. Fozzy was fantastic. I was always wondering, I'm like, is Jericho's voice going to sound good live? Because sometimes
and they had the brunch spot, right? They had like the Sunday at noon, right?
1:30 on Sunday. Second band of the day, behind very radio friendly artist Aaron Jones. Just very like rocky. Or very just commercial sounding rock. We got Fozzy came on. Judas, everyone was singing the chorus.
Did you have your phone out with the lyrics?
I didn't. I was like, other acts, every time I die was there. Butcher from Butcher and the Blade, AEW tag team. He's the guitarist in Every Time I Die, but it was fantastic. Metallica played 2 nights. Just with driving home, I only got to see him the one night, but it was awesome. It was fantastic.
Brian, anything fun this week since we spoke last?
Boring fun, like a night out with a babysitter. I was actually surprised.
Oh, you went out with the babysitter?
Nice.
No, a night out, me and my wife, and the babysitter was here with the girls.
That's not what you said.
This is the start of a Dateline episode. They had the perfect marriage.
What motel did you take the babysitter to?
I don't even know where to take that from there. But
the SmackDown motel.
But observation though, from what you said, Kev, how Jericho and Fozzy were second.
Yeah,
he said at the Austin interview, that's the kiss of death. You don't want to be second, like on the WrestleMania card. I'm surprised they didn't walk right off the stage, but glad they pulled through for you.
Joe, anything?
No, how am I supposed to beat the babysitter motel story?
That's true. Yeah. So
what about you? I know what you have.
I enjoyed the week of Mark Cardona losing the internet title that he created for himself to Effie at GCW last week. So that was a plus. But of course, the big thing, I got a dog. I got my first pet ever. golden doodle named Harley. We got the WWE Bark Box, of course. And if you go to the Pod General on Instagram, you can see some of the pictures I posted of her with the steel chair and the microphone and, stuff like that. So never having a dog before. It's kind of, it's a lot, man. It is a lot. Brian, you've got a couple dogs. Kevin, you have a cat. Joe, you have nothing. It's a lot. It's a lot. So
it takes time to get into that routine, but it'll come. You get adjusted. Obviously, it's a huge adjustment for the dog, and with those routines and everything will be fine and fall into place, and they'll be sleeping in your bed in no time. It'll be great.
No, we'll not be sleeping in the bed. That is it. That is not happening.
Oh,
so,
that's right.
Whoa.
You can knock that shit off right now. So
couldn't agree more with you.
Speaking of routines.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today? What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today?
It is the weekly check-in of what we are wearing. It is a pro wrestling podcast, so pro wrestling shirts are required. And I'm wearing a hoodie, which isn't my shirt for the week. It's just I had to hide the shirt because earlier in the week I sent a text that said, I will have the greatest shirt in the history of our great industry. And it is from my friends at 2800 Studios, the Oddities t-shirt.
Oh,
Wow. With ICP.
Wow.
With ICP, you can see the whatever they're called logos.
Scary
and,
guys.
Juggalos.
And if you are listening to this, make sure to check out the video version of this on Wednesday on our YouTube channel so you can see what's on the back. It would make me a bad host if I turn my back to the camera. So we're not going to do that right now, but just check the video on Wednesday. 2800 Studios made this, and it is fucking awesome. Yes, stop. I said fuck. Brian, what do you have?
Well, in honor of your new member of the family, I wanted to show some love to Harley and wear my British Bulldog shirt.
Not really connected, but thanks.
Let's see. Where's the one's connection? Let's see. They're both dogs. That's all you need.
The British Bulldog was a human, not a dog.
Matilda's on the shirt, dummy.
It doesn't say Matilda. It's a British Bulldog shirt. It's not a Matilda shirt. But your sentiments are appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, well, cheers to that.
Joe.
Well, it is October, so it's the only John Cena shirt I own. It is the John Cena Rise Above Cancer shirt. Cool. I think we've all had someone in our lives who have been affected by breast cancer. I definitely had one, and this is my shirt in honor of all the breast cancer survivors out there.
Very cool. And Kevin, you're letting me down, man, because I know this is a repeat.
It is a repeat, but Brian and I thought the same exact thing. You got your Chewy box, and one of the items in there was a Macho Man stuffy. So I'm wearing the Macho Man purple tank.
Now, these do not make you as buff as the That Wrestling podcast tanks, right?
Oh, no. This one doesn't make you just want to, kiss your arm. So,
yeah. So that Wrestling podcast, we have a store at whatamaneuver.net, shirts, tanks, hoodies, long sleeves for men, women, children, and even babies. So the week that was Extreme Rules. Joe, we're going to start with you. I'm not going to say you hated everything.
Wait,
I did not hate everything
in the group text. So what did you think of Extreme Rules?
Okay, starting off, if I had to grade it, if I was a teacher, which I am, I would give it a 6 out of 10, which means it's barely passed. I don't understand the love for it. It's a D because it might as well have been called Castrol GTX proudly brings to you WWE filler. Nothing happens. It's a house show on the Peacock Network.
Man.
It was, here's the pros. I think I sent it in a text message. The pros of the night. Roman versus the Demon was a good match until the final 30 seconds. So the match was good. Damian Priest looked like a star. And what was the third thing I said? I think I really liked I like the setup of Bobby Lashley. No, I like the setup of Bobby Lashley and Big E for Raw the next night. They were building that up, and I thought those were the pros. The cons, how can a 180-pound demon break the ropes when Sheamus was on it? Montez Ford was on it. Both Usos were on it. Nothing breaks, but a guy half of their size breaks the ropes.
They loosened it for him.
Oh, no. It was a dumb ending.
No, stop.
Okay.
How can I be the only person that loved the ending?
You know what? That's you. And I'm okay with that. Just like it's me. I thought the ending was stupid, but
Here's
I love the
Joe.
match.
You need to wait and see
until the end.
If they explain it tonight on SmackDown. Maybe the Usos loosened it. All that fog was there, so we couldn't see who did it. Maybe Speaking it was Pat McAfee.
I did think that.
Brian's tweet about the demon, like, your phone goes off. It's from your crush. They want to see you. What? That was awesome. That was the highlight of that. That was a good thing. That was good. The social team put that up on our social media, but we'd have no idea what happened to the rope. So hopefully tonight on SmackDown, we'll find out. Hopefully we'll find out. I love that Sasha was back, and the U.S. title match was a lot of fun. Jeff Hardy's like 72 years old, and the guy is just awesome.
The crowd loves him.
I've never been a huge Hardy fan, but like the dude is just absolutely awesome. Rest in peace to Lily. Thank you, Lily, for everything you've done.
Do you think Lily got torn up because Charlotte was offended that Lily was more over than she was with the crowd and she had to bury someone else on the women's division? That's what I was thinking.
Lily was not more over than Charlotte.
I think Lily was more over than Charlotte, so she had to be like, I don't think this is going to happen, and just rip her apart.
So, Kevin, I know you did not. You were driving home from Louisville, so we'll go to Brian. Thoughts on Extreme Rules?
So I have it a little higher than Joe. I thought it was good. I'll nod my head on filler in the sense that, as we're going to talk about, the draft is coming up. So, I think it is kind of like, let's just throw something together because we're going to have this whole new batch of stories moving forward. But no, there was nothing that I thought that was offensive. I enjoyed Charlotte and Alexa. Enjoyed Usos and Street Profits. The U.S. tag match was great. So the ending. Okay. First off, I did enjoy the demons hulking up, if you will.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so cool.
The hulking up, it was over the top, but I did love it. I thought it was great. I love the intensity afterward. So there. But when the rope break happened, I was like, I can't see what's going on. So hopefully there is something to that. And it did remind me of, if you guys can remember the end of WrestleMania 10, you remember it was Brett and Yoko just climbed up to the ropes to do the bonsai and just was like, whoa. And he fell backward and Brett kind of rolled him up and won. So I was like, all right, that's what it reminded me of like this weird fluky way of having a match end. And I'd never seen that. So I always give props for originality of having that happen. Hopefully there's a follow-up, like you said.
What's interesting is my niece and her husband were here at my house on Sunday. And because I'm selfish, I was like, I'm watching Extreme Rules. You guys can go do whatever. I'm watching Extreme Rules. And my niece, who does not give a shit about wrestling in the least, found it interesting. She even said, I know it's fake, but these guys are really good athletes. And then I kicked her out. So like, you don't use the F word in my house. But no, like for me, Extreme Rules was the next. WWE, in my opinion, has been on a roll. And then maybe, last week I said, maybe it's because AEW is ramping their stuff up. WWE is finally starting to get it. Like for me, I'm enjoying every program they have put out in the last couple of weeks. Extreme Rules for me definitely was on that list. But then we'll move over to Monday Night Raw. And I know a couple of you guys watched it live. Kevin, were you one of them?
I watched it live.
So we'll go to you since you had nothing to contribute for Extreme Rules. What did you think of Monday Night Raw?
I I really, really enjoyed this Monday Night Raw. I've actually, is it a 3 or a 4 week streak where it's been
just like I just said,
above average and in climbing each week. I know AEW is putting a little fire up under the talent, with the draft. They want to look good, maybe for their perspective.
The draft is on WWE, not AEW.
No, I meant with the draft coming up. So they Monday Night Football just started a few weeks ago. So there's a lot of Monday competition too. Right. I loved at the beginning, Bobby and Big E, Hurt Business. Are they going to get back together? Shelton just smiling, Cedric looking all evilish with his smile. The New Day, boom, like 2.3 seconds, get back in that ring. And then Pierce comes out and announces the cage match for later. And then throughout the whole episode, you're getting backstage promos from Big E, backstage stuff leading up to that main event, which was good. Just felt like a lot of Monday Night Raws feel like they drag. And this one, I won't lie, I play on my phone a lot, probably in the last year. This one, I think I played on my phone by far the least during the show. Entertaining, very entertaining.
The last month of Raws have been
It's been great. Yeah.
And, Shelton and Cedric, you can get a new shirt. I don't think you have to wear those old Hurt Business shirts anymore, guys. I think you can get some for free or maybe a discount code. Brian, we'll go to you next. Thoughts on Raw?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good show. It still had a couple of flaws, but I thought, boy, the Sheamus Priest Extreme Rules or whatever match they called it, no holds barred, I don't even know. Fantastic. When Sheamus hit that white noise through the table to the outside. Oh my, I cringed at that. I was like, Jesus, Priest, that was rough. And I'm glad Priest went over. That match was fantastic. That was a great match. Loved the Hurt Business. I all caps texted you guys, who is watching live Hurt Business? Yeah, I was so excited. So that was great. Things I didn't love, like, I don't know what we're doing with Charlotte with Dewdrop and beating her in a minute. The one I kind of eye rolled was, so then Eva Marie came out, Charlotte knocks her out. Sure. Fine. But Shayna coming out, taking out Eva. And this is where WWE wants one thing. We all want something else. And maybe you caught this, but Shayna does the thing to Eva's arm on the step. And what's the crowd do? One more time. One more time.
Yep.
Next
Crazy.
thing I heard was piped in boos. Boo. No one's booing.
Okay. So maybe maybe I can't hear. Like, I know I have hearing issues and stuff, but like, I have a hard time figuring out what's real and what's not when it comes to the crowd noise.
That one, yeah, I do too. But that one was clearly like, no, the
that one
crowd's
was clear
chanting
because
one more
the
time.
boos were really loud.
Yeah,
even though you could hear in the background one more time.
They didn't clearly just switch on bass. I was like, come on.
Brian's a tech guy, so yeah, good catch on that one.
I picked up on that, and then all right,
okay, Ogre,
burping.
Can we talk about Goldberg's promo too?
Please do. You're the only one that probably won't bring it up.
I'll tell you, man. You say all Goldberg? These things about. First off, you got this weird ass picture of your baby like on your arm in the background, right? I'm sorry, that's fucking weird.
You don't have that yet with Fiona. You don't have that like. Kevin, you like to flex. Maybe you got one from Brett as a child, holding him up on your arm.
No, I don't know. Leave that off TV. Do that. That's fine for your house, but I'm sorry, that was weird. But with that line of like, maybe I'll kill you if I'm lucky or something.
Yeah,
what are we talking about?
My ears perked up for that too. I mean, that match is probably going to happen in Saudi.
I agree. Yep.
And I mean, probably the wrong place to make those kind of jokes.
Well, he didn't. At least he didn't say it to like gender or something.
Right. Somewhere the Saudi prince is like, now we're talking.
We got our death match for real.
Well, maybe this will come out after all. I'm seeing it differently thanks to us, guys. Great job.
Joe, anything from Raw?
This will shock you. I enjoyed it from beginning to end.
What? No.
I enjoyed it. Like even the 20th rematch of AJ versus Riddle was entertaining.
It was pretty good.
The Charlotte didn't even offend me because she wasn't out there that long. So she was only out there for about a minute and a half. Good use of that because it had nothing to do with her because of the draft. They are going to feed her a new challenger from SmackDown where she can basically beat because she's went through all of Raw. I enjoyed it. I loved the Hurt Business coming back because we even said back in like April when they broke up, that was dumb. And Jason, I love the fact that they came out in the Hurt Business t-shirts. It's kind of like, it reminded me of, if you can go back to like, it was a SmackDown in October of 99 when DX reunited, when X-Pac came out in the DX jersey, and then the New Age Outlaws did, and Triple H did as well, and then they reunited DX after they broke up over the summer. That's how you knew they were together.
Fun fact about that wasn't supposed to happen. That's just what they wore to the arena that night, and creative was like, we don't have anything, let's just fucking go with that.
Nice.
Well, that's funny.
But here's what I was thinking at the end. I was like, and you got to answer this for me, Jason. What was Jason thinking when Drew came out at the end? Because you said you were sick of Drew.
I thought that it was okay because I don't recall a Drew Big E match in recent history. So I'm like, okay, a little different. But I also don't really think it could be as bad as some of the Drew Bobby matches that we've had. I mean, how many did we have? We had a bunch.
47.
So give me something
47.
new. I think that's Brian's thing. Give me something new. And that's what we're getting, hopefully. Of course, the draft is starting tonight, so everything could get thrown up in the air. But
it's time to shake things up again.
if it's going to be Drew and E for a while, give me 2 months of that. I'm good.
Okay.
But what I want, if this is going to happen, the New Day jumps Drew. Lean them heel. Not fully.
I'd be fine with that. Yeah.
Lean them heel.
I'm on the other fence. I want Drew to go back to being heel. He's a better heel than a face.
Do you want
Brian's fine with it no matter what?
You want the New Day to fling pancakes at Drew, and Drew actually used the damn sword, the sword
and then,
try to get him.
And then him and Goldberg can form a tag team and just start murdering people because apparently that's okay.
Man.
And the Saudi prince goes, ooh, like Brian
the
Get
sword
Yokozuna in this match and we're okay.
Yeah, right.
The sword can become a skewer and just be like,
right.
You know,
if we do not see a pancake go on the sword, I feel like we're gonna.
They're doing a disservice to
they're
everybody.
Missing out. Yeah. So then Tuesday night was NXT, and it felt like the Hit Row promo to open the show was way scripted. Now, this could be because it's NXT 2.0. I think it's because they were there to set up the night. I don't think it was a Hit Row promo. It was about what was going to happen throughout the night. So I'm going to give that a pass. But again, I love NXT 2.0. I love it. I don't know if it's the bright colors. You know, I just got a dog and she likes bright colors. Maybe that's what it is. Like all the colors got my eyes wide open. But all the new people, and I got a list of some of the new people that I had never heard of until then. Zion Quinn, Briggs and Jensen, Grayson Waller had a great match with Roderick Strong. And how many weeks on this show have I been saying, I really wish we would get a kick-ass female faction that just beats people down. Toxic Attraction might be that faction. And then one thing you clowns all got wrong last week, Joe Gacy is not canceled. He's teaching shop, fifth period shop. He is teaching. The Joe Gacy promo was fun. It's a safe space. I'm in for it, man. We'll go. Anybody else who wants to go first on NXT? Because I've just sold everything that was awesome.
You really did. During the Joel when he was sitting in the chair in the middle of the ring, Joe. What did I say?
Joel.
Oh,
with an L.
minus a letter. The crowd looks very. There's a lot of open bleachers. If you were staring at him to the left, it looked like half the seats were like open. I don't know if that was.
Did Meltzer report 15,000 people left when he was?
Yes.
There's precedence. You're right. Yeah.
Well, since NXT only fits like 150 now in the Coliseum, it was a fun show. It went very fast. Like that's the one thing. Now, I think things will shake up with the draft, which I think that's why they are introducing a lot more new people, because some might think of the seasoned.
That makes a lot of sense.
People
yeah,
might be, either with some contracts ending up, maybe not signing, hitting the road, seeing what else is out there outside of the big WWE banner, or Raw SmackDown.
Yeah, that's a good one. Brian, anything?
Well, the honeymoon of Index.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Mention the honeymoon.
Yes.
Forgot all about it.
If you didn't call Brian, I would have said it.
The Johnny with the shark fin. I mean, that joke's a million years old, but Johnny's so great in this comedic role. But yeah,
the security in this hotel sucks.
The fact that maid let him in their room like with no ID. Come on.
Yeah. No, that was great. Yeah, the line or the moment of him popping out of the closet and there's Dexter with the thumbs up and then the whole rack of condoms. I laughed. That was great. Love that.
He hydrates.
And boy, I can't get over how much Braun Breaker sounds like his dad and his uncle. Oh my God. He got that little pre-tape promo, saying he wasn't patient and all that. And I'm like, you just close your eyes. I'm like, it's one of those, like, Scott Steiner, the most jacked up guy in history, but he has this voice that's just like slightly higher than you think with his body. He was like, I'm not a patient guy, like, it's like, you think it'd be a little bit deeper and tougher. Like a Karrion Kross has that sort of command of his voice, but it's amazing how much, like, you close your eyes and just hear, yes, you are a Steiner. That's
what I said last week. I thought he sounded more like Scott, but he looked like Rick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got both of it from him. It's crazy to me. It's crazy.
If you hear me.
It's like I said in the text, we need to see, since Chucky's coming on USA Network, Braun Breaker versus Chucky in a duel of promos again.
So when you guys were texting that, I'm thinking, no fucking way did they do that. Because remember, I'm a few hours behind.
No,
I'm
they
like,
didn't.
No. And then I'm like, no, these idiots wouldn't text that and spoil it because I bitch about spoilers all the time. I really thought we were going to get Chucky somewhere on NXT. I think it debuts on the 12th, which I believe is a Tuesday. I think it's after.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's after NXT.
Maybe it's right after NXT. Yeah.
Dude, nobody wants Chucky on NXT, right?
Unless Joe? Lily's going to
pop no,
up there.
I don't want to see it, but in a way, I kind of want to see it. It's like, I don't want to see it, but it would be amazing if Chucky if they have like Chucky past them and going, this guy looks familiar, and just that.
Oh man. I was worried. I got the text, and then a couple hours later I'm flipping through or I'm watching NXT. I'm like, God, I don't. And then the commercials for Child's Play came up. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That will ruin NXT for me if they bring Chucky in. But AEW was a great week. The night dedicated to Brody Lee. We found out another new former WWE member has entered the roster, and it's not who everybody thought it was going to be. It is Lio Rush. He is All Elite. Thoughts on Lio Rush, Brian?
Lio retired like 2 months ago.
He had some serious health issues,
right?
Which he got them handled, but he had a lot of New Japan dates that he had to make up, and that's what that was for. And I guess Money Mark Tony Khan, playing fantasy bookers, like, yeah, let's get you in here too. Yeah, and then everyone thought Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda was going to debut, didn't happen, but I like Lio Rush. I'm glad he didn't either, but I'm glad Lio Rush is there. I think he'll be a good fit.
I love Lio as a performer. He was one of my favorites to watch in NXT and when he was on Live. But yeah, I thought that I can remember he showed up at maybe it was Double or Nothing at like the Casino Battle Royal or something. And then like the next day he was like, I can't do this. I'm retiring. But he had these New Japan dates he was going to fulfill. So when I saw him pop up, I was kind of like, okay, bro. Hey, but you know, how many times did Terry Funk and Mick Foley retire and come back? Yeah. Right. So that's wrestling, right? But yeah, good for Lio.
Kevin, thoughts on Lio Rush?
I know. He if he's figured out because he had a lot of mental health issues, right?
Yeah, he's talking about that.
So like, if he's figured those all out, perfect. He's still young. He looked incredible, like incredible shape. Like he's just a little guy. He reminds me. Not reminds me. It gets me excited just for one guy for an opponent for him.
Marco,
you guys like? No, not Marco. Marco's close. Same little faction of Jurassic Express. Jungle Boy. Can you just imagine those two in the ring?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Both agile, both quick on their feet, great moves.
Or Dante Martin.
Oh,
I was thinking Orange Cassidy. I think that would be more entertaining.
But this is the thing. We just listed off multiple guys.
He's way more over the top, and Orange Cassidy is chill, which is Brian's favorite part of it. I think that would be more of a entertaining matchup.
But this is the thing. We just listed so many guys. That's the exciting thing about him coming in. There's a lot of good matchups that we'll like to see.
And then the main event, of course, was Sammy Guevara against Miro, won the TNT title. Great match. And then they set up. I don't know. Did you guys watch Roads to the Top?
I did.
I watched through the first commercial where they set this up. Where I think you're talking about.
Bobby Fish recently of NXT tweeted to Sammy G as soon as it ended, and apparently, Sammy G can make matches. But Tony Khan's like, yeah, let's give Bobby Fish a match for the TNT title next week. So that's happening next week. But the Sammy Guevara the match was so good. Joe, what'd you think of that main event?
I was shocked that that Sammy won. I didn't think they were going to pull the trigger on it, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. I loved the match. You know how much of a fan I've been of Miro since he's got rid of the whole gamer thing and became God's favorite champion. I hope that he moves on to the heavyweight championship now. Hard to do because he's a heel, but I think it was time for him to move on, and it's a perfect guy to do it. I think this is going to be the stepping stone to get Sammy Guevara, still part of Inner Circle, but now can be his own man.
Mm-hmm.
So bravo for both sides.
And then I had something else, and I lost my train of thought. The Brody Lee stuff I thought was cool. That Dark Order, they've been having their issues, and then they were walking out, and then it took Brody's wife to get them back in and get their shit together. So that was cool. Anything else from AEW that I'm missing?
Well, there was Jungle Boy versus
the Jungle Boy
that started
off. Baby.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
Fantastic.
Anything else? Because I don't
remember JR screwing anything up, so that was a miracle on its own.
That's
he actually got the night right. He said it's Wednesday. You know what that means. So he didn't say it's Monday. So that's good.
I got something else.
What?
Following in the footsteps of Goldberg, what's with Arn Anderson saying he's gonna
shoot Cody in the head?
Did you see someone tweeted out Arn Anderson's Glock is all elite? It's just a picture of a gun and it said Arn Anderson's.
Wow,
like, what is going on? Like,
but was that on his laminate coach card for a plate?
I had no idea where he was going with that. I had no idea.
And the crowd booing Cody again. So this is
good.
Heel Cody, I think, is a lot with babyface. So
it seems like it's going that way.
It's just tricky with the reality show.
Miz was a heel throughout all of Miz and Mrs.
Yeah, but Miz is here. Who's gonna watch? The people watching on the YouTube, and Cody is here in personality. Don't get me wrong, Cody's great, but the Miz is in a different level.
One more thing for
AEW. Dancing with the Stars this week? You watched Miz on Dancing with the Stars?
I did not watch Dancing with the Stars last week, but I watched Miz's performance of it.
Just gotta watch.
Did he do great again?
Yeah, he got a 27. Now he got 50 in the first 2 weeks, which is about average from what everyone else is getting. It was awesome. You brought up Miz. It's the only reason I brought that up.
Dude,
Joe, you had something else about AEW, Joe?
Yeah, this is a question for Kevin. Kevin, do you think that MJF is purposely going too far every week? Now that we got the Darby Allin straight edge, your uncle died, it should have been you comment. I mean, he's kind of like, he's pushing it, but I think it's too forced now. What do you think, Kevin? You love MJF.
I do love MJF. With that comment, then with what Brian Pillman Jr., where Brian tackled him when he was like, "Your mother should have aborted you." Like, but that's the thing. He's the mega heel. He's the mega heel. He's supposed to say those things. If he tones it down, he's not the main heel of AEW. The dude, does he push the buttons? Yes. Does he say shit that he shouldn't? Dude's pretty crazy. But what is he? 24, 25 years old? And he's got
like 25 more years of this shit than this guy.
Yeah. top three heels in the world. Dude can say anything.
I can't wait until we're doing this when I'm 70 and
I'll still drool over MJF. Everything he does.
I mean, he's only 50 and it's like he's still talking about Arn Anderson's clock. I was just curious about that with Kevin.
Yeah.
He does say some. I would say this. I feel like he does.
That's the point.
Exactly. To get a rise, to get the boost from the crowd. And honestly, he feeds off the boost, and it's even better. When your parents the week before say, "We don't even want MJF
on Twitter,"
it's fantastic.
And he told his mom to go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And the way he trolls WWE. Everything on Twitter is pretty amazing.
Oh, because he has Bruce Pritchard's phone number and speed dial.
And I will laugh that Punk said, "Who doesn't have Bruce Pritchard's number on speed dial?"
I didn't catch that.
Oh, one thing I'll say before we close out AEW. Did you like Punk on commentary, Jay? I know you're like oversaturation of Punk, going in the ring, talking, being on commentary. So much Punk. Did you like him on commentary this week?
Oversaturation of Punk, so much Punk. What was annoying to me is that he was on commentary. Why go down the ramp and run around the ring a couple times just to come back up? No need for that.
For the people in the crowd, so they could see him, not just walk out to the desk.
I'm sure they filmed Rampage after. And I'm sure he was on Rampage doing a promo. We'll find out later tonight. Real quick about Rampage. I watched last week, both hours. Hour 2 sucked. I love the UFC. Brian can attest to this. I have a room in my house. It's all UFC memorabilia that I've acquired over the years. Having those MMA fighters in the ring was ridiculous. The only one that was effective, Jorge Masvidal, when he fucking hit that knee on Jericho. Paige Van Zant is a fucking waste of space. She's pretty, but that's about it. Like, what the fuck are you doing there? Masvidal hitting the knee was awesome. Dana White was on, I think it was the Barstool podcast, and they were asking about it, and he was laughing. He has a good relationship with Tony Khan. So, obviously, they signed off on like a guy like Masvidal, who's one of their biggest stars. But Rampage... Hour 2 last week sucked. I don't even remember what else, but I know it was bad. The tape shows for me. I don't know if it's the stigma of being a tape show or not, but I don't know. Are you guys watching Rampage? Or are you thinking it's good?
Or is it a situation where it's the end of the week? So much wrestling throughout the week. And last week was pretty good wrestling throughout the week.
Who are you talking to here, man? I watch more wrestling.
It's following live SmackDown. It's kind of hard to follow
everybody.
That.
It's kind of like the last of the Monday through Friday stuff.
Well,
so it's like the last thing we get during those weekdays.
I get AEW Rampage before I get SmackDown.
Okay.
Because it's taped.
Time change and what's live, what's not for you on the west side of Parts Unknown.
I fell asleep after the CM Punk match. I fell asleep when the Elite were coming out. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch the rest, and I fell asleep. I didn't see it.
So I don't know. Hour. I enjoy AEW, but the Rampage just isn't doing it for me. Before we get into the 5 count, I saw something today. WWE is doing a new non-scripted version of American Gladiators.
What?
I saw their talks about that. Yep.
So I thought it was interesting. I wanted to bring it up because I know I loved American Gladiators as a kid. I wanted to hit that guy that was shooting the tennis balls at me. I wanted to do the football thing where you had to like put the ball in the buckets and stuff. I don't really have an idea of how this is going to work. Is it going to be the WWE superstars of the Gladiators, or are they the competitors against new Gladiators, which maybe they're
that could be
the NXT guys that aren't ready for TV yet, but they're just big fucking hulking dudes. Thoughts on WWE American Gladiators? Kevin, you look like you just like jizzed in your pants.
I want it normal Joes and Janes off the street going against, say, Joust, some 120-pound dude going against Joust against Keith Bearcat Lee. You're like, can you imagine? Like, that would be amazing. And then or you get Big E, doing that with his boobs, going against him in Assault, or like the big huge ball things where they're running around like hamsters. I want the WWE umbrella superstars being the Gladiators, 100%. I don't want to see them going against people.
Brian, you got to look on your face like you got something.
Well, it spurns off of what you're saying. So let me first say about American Gladiators. Yeah, loved it. I'm all down for let's see what the show revival looks like. I had the Nintendo game of American Gladiators. I don't know if you guys had.
I did.
I had that.
Kevin, you're Joe Nintendo. Did you have?
I have never. No.
Do you have it on your 50,000 game device you have in your basement?
Yeah.
Probably.
Look for that.
I still have about 49,000 games to go, so I'll put it on the list.
But Jay, the light bulb that you saw go off in my head was Kevin's mention of Keith Bearcat Lee. Keith Bearcat Lee. Okay, so I very quickly did a Twitter poll on I piggybacked off a WWE tweet of it, and I just put Bearcat ... yay or nay, and I had about 120 some votes. It was about 60-40 no, or nay, I guess I should say.
Here's my concern with the Bearcat nickname.
Mm-hmm.
He debuted as the Bearcat in Cincinnati. At the University of Cincinnati. Their mascot is the Bearcat.
Yes.
So if they're like Kentucky this Friday, is he the
Wildcat? The Wildcat?
I want Keith Mount Lee and Morgantown.
Keith Trojan Lee.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, we're going to Oregon? Keith Duck.
The Duck.
I'm all about it. Let's roll with that. Get him clean.
Oh my God.
Yes, the college mascot for each one.
Yeah.
Keith Crimson Tide Lee.
Keith the Orange Lee.
That's amazing.
Are we gonna keep this going?
No,
the Wolverine. I went the school I went to. We were the Vulcans. So
nice.
Keith the Vulcan.
I love it. Thank you for saying that, Jay. That's he was the Bearcat in Cincinnati. It's going to be a different mascot every week. I'd be all about it.
So earlier we had mentioned the WWE draft, which begins tonight on SmackDown, which leads us to this week's 5 count.
That Wrestling Podcast presents the 5 count.
It is the 5 count, and this week it is the top 5 moves we want to see in the WWE draft, which begins tonight on SmackDown. We will start with Kevin.
Yay. Perfect. Number 5. Started off with the tag team. I want to move from SmackDown to Raw. Street Profits. I know with that, Bianca will be probably going with them, but she does not make my top 5 because if for some reason they do split, she has some unfinished business in SmackDown. It would be exciting to see her again on Raw, but I really want to see, Ford do some crazy stuff on Monday Night Raw, kind of make Raw, I don't want to say more athletic and more entertaining, but the Street Profits just have a way with their promos, and both of them have just improved so much in the ring.
So you're saying you want it to become Montez Night Raw?
Hey,
now you make that. That's a
the
shirt.
Solo cups are red.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yep.
That would be
coming together.
That would be nice. But with him going to Raw, I predict, and I would like to see AJ and Omos tag team go from Raw to SmackDown. Just because, Joe, you mentioned, earlier in the show, hey, AJ and Riddle, they had a good match. How many times have we seen it, though? Right? I would like to see AJ have some different competitive matches, even if it's a tag team or solo on SmackDown. Number 3, my first NXT to the big brand, Frankie Monet, to meet up with her husband on Raw. Frankie Monet moves from NXT. She took the loss against Raquel this past week. I think it only makes sense that she jumps to the main roster. She's ready. She's been ready. NXT was only a stepping stone. I feel like as much as she's looked good on there, I don't feel like she's wrestled more than 5 matches. And she still looks great. She looks like a star. She's great in the ring. So I want her to go to Raw. Number 2, another NXT person. I want to go to SmackDown, or I'm predicting to go to SmackDown, L.A. Knight. He's going somewhere. Yeah. I would say for the people like their Ciampa and Johnny, right? And those that I want to live in NXT land forever. L.A. Knight, it was a stepping stone. I think he's done as much as he can in NXT. He doesn't need to get that NXT championship to make him be a star at all. He needs to be going to the star on the big boy brands. And number 1, I won't even go into much detail. I just want to see Edge to Raw. That's it.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, those are all pretty good. I had Edge on my list too, but I ended up deleting it. So we'll go to Joe next.
All right, my number 5. I feel like this guy has done all he can on SmackDown, and I want to see him bring his conspiracy theory to Raw. I want Sami Zayn on Raw.
Like that.
I want to see him tear it up on there and make Raw a little bit like it's 3 hours. I think we can get more Sami than like 5 minutes talking to Dominic Mysterio. Number 4, he does better on SmackDown. When he goes to Raw, he always seems to fizzle and then goes back to SmackDown and rises again. And when he's done Dancing with the Stars, I want The Miz, and only The Miz, not Morrison, on SmackDown.
Well, they broke up, so that's what would happen.
Right, but I don't want Morrison to follow him, is what I'm saying. Yeah. I want Miz to go to SmackDown because he always seems to flourish on SmackDown. When he goes to Raw, it kind of dims a little bit. Yeah. Number 3, I want him off main event. I want to give him a chance. And if it doesn't work here, then good luck on your future endeavors. I want Ricochet on SmackDown. I want to see him basically go against either, some guys like Corbin or go against Nakamura. Apollo Crews would be a good matchup. Things like that. But I think Ricochet is wasted on Raw. We keep saying that we want him to do well. If he doesn't make it on SmackDown, then he's just not going to make it. Number 2, following Sami, would be Kevin Owens back to Raw. They're not doing anything with him on SmackDown. He's pretty much just I'll do my KO show. I'll do a couple things here and there, and then I'm going to be off for a while. So Kevin Owens back to Raw. And finally, number 1, I want Drew on SmackDown. I don't want him on Raw. I know that he ended with Big E, but I want to see Drew versus Roman for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. I want that because we're not going to get The Rock. If we do, that would be amazing. But if we don't, I want to see Drew and Roman go at it again. So that's my 5 count this week.
Do you want dog food included in that match?
No, because that was involving Corbin.
Well, McIntyre was there too. So I'm going to go now. I'm going to go next. Number 5, I want RK Bro to go to SmackDown and unify the tag belts. Have them on both shows. The men's tag champs should be on both shows. Number 4, The Way needs to go to Raw. They need to have some fun on Monday nights. And what we just saw with the honeymoon and the wedding, I think it's awesome. We'll throw Dexter in there. Austin Theory definitely needs to be on Raw. He's a superstar. I think that would be fun. Number 3, Dominic Mysterio to Raw by himself. But Ray goes anyway. Just like lately, Dominic's been going to the ring by himself, but then Ray just shows up. This will lead to, it'll continue the storyline, and it'll set up the feud, which culminates at WrestleMania. Dominic goes over. Ray takes off the mask.
Boom.
Moving forward. Number 2, Sami Zayn to Raw.
Said? Yep.
Give him Mason T-Bar as muscle.
Oh.
They don't have to talk. They don't have to talk. Let that be a faction. And number 1, Montez Ford to Raw. Solo.
Oh.
Break up the Street Profits. Let this guy be what he was against Roman 2 weeks ago. The fucking star that he is. I had 2 others. I'm going to play the role of Kevin here and have more than I'm supposed to have. Scarlett to Raw, put her with Cross, and Dakota Kai to Raw is another one that I'd have.
Oscar,
yes.
Let me ask this before Brian goes. Biggie, is he still a member of SmackDown?
I guess when you win the title, you just automatically become Monday.
Because I was wondering that. I'm like, is he still with SmackDown?
I think he's now Raw, I'm thinking.
But who knows? They may
draft him
maybe,
just Monday Night Raw.
Maybe they draft him to SmackDown, and then Raw takes Roman in the bloodline, and all fucking hell breaks loose. But then, Brian, bring us home.
Time to shake things up again. All right. Number 5, I think Kevin said it. LA Knight going. I have him going to Raw. Just he's so charismatic, and he's very good in the ring. He's a little underrated, I think, but he's such a great talker. He's the star no matter what. My number 4 is Liv Morgan going to Raw. Now, on the first SmackDown back with a live crowd, she won a spot in Money in the Bank. And if you guys remember, she did an interview up the ramp, like headed to the back, and the crowd chanted, "You deserve it." For Liv Morgan, the fans love Liv Morgan. Give her a chance to shine. Let her go on Raw and have some big feuds. I want to see it.
They thought she was Dana Brooke or Mandy Rose or Trish Stratus or Maurice.
Is that when Liz Morgan cried?
Yeah, she did. She shed a tear because even she was like, "You're chanting, you deserve it" to me? Like, I'm never on TV. So I'm all about it. I'm ready for it.
They thought she was
their
Carmella.
First night back, so they just wanted to chant
Emma.
"You deserve it" to anyone.
No, don't disrespect, man. Don't disrespect.
They thought she was oh my God, I'm blanking. Never mind.
Number 3.
My joke's over.
Hey.
My top 3 are not in the same order, but they're the exact same 3 as Joe. Great minds. Number 3, I have Drew going to SmackDown. He's had a great run on Raw, but let's get some fresh feuds and that potential mega feud with Roman. Would love to see that. That's my number 3. My number 2, Joe, you said it, Ricochet. Give him the SmackDown. He's too talented to be stuck on occasional Raws. And this past week, while it was entertaining, the Reggie and the parkour off match that they had, it was like a minute 45. I'm like, I would get into this if this was 8 minutes. Like, give me more. He's too good for that, man. Get him on SmackDown. My number 1 is Kevin Owens going to Raw. In 2020, he had a great year. His feud with Roman was fantastic. He faced his old rival, Sami Zayn, at WrestleMania. Time for some fresh feuds for KO and a chance to be the champ once again. It's not going to happen on SmackDown with Roman there. Get him on Raw. I could certainly see him take it from Big E and have some great main event championship run in his future. That's my number 1.
They thought she was Tori Wilson. They thought she was Kelly Kelly.
They thought she was Stacy Keibler.
Ah, that was a good one. I forgot.
They thought she was Keith Badgers Lee.
In Madison, yes.
You just ruined the whole bit. All right, that's this week's 5 count.
Who made your 5 count? Let us know on social media using the hashtag TWP5count.
All right, you can watch the video version of this podcast on our YouTube channel. It goes live every Wednesday. Just search That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. And if you go to our YouTube, you can check out the NFL picks. Brian, what happened in week 3?
Ooh. This was a rough
It was
really
rough week.
Harley chiming in on the picks. Harper, a goose egg. Owens,
what?
3. Owens,
wow.
Yeah, she crashed and burned. And Brett picks up a game. He goes 1-2. The kids had 2 of the same picks, and the Monday night pick, which was Eagles and Cowboys. Harper had Philly. Brett got the win with the Cowboys, so he creeps to being down just 1. But a rough week overall, man. We're pushing ahead to week 4, and hopefully better days ahead for the picks.
There's one positive thing from the kids' picks. For everyone listening, check out Brian's videos that he creates. 3 to 4 minutes of pure magic. It's awesome. You get jokes. You get the kids doing some funny things like running around a table to keep the stamina. I would say the kids are the stars.
Keep the cardio up.
Yeah, Brian is the third star of the video. Definitely.
Thank you, sir.
I have a request for week 4. Maybe we can make this a thing. I would like to see Brett smash a paper plate full of whipped cream into Kevin's face after he makes each pick. Can we make that happen?
Wow.
Well, he did punch me in the nutsack the other day, so I'm not going to have
Is
to
it
do
on
that.
camera? How about we get that on camera?
No, I was at the park next to my house with our new neighbors across the street, who probably thinks I'm an alcoholic because they moved in during Octoberfest.
The same day.
The same day.
When you had people in and out of your house. And a band.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's like, welcome to Cockstoberfest, right above our garage. So then he's at his...
And not knowing it's your last name probably made him think really bad thoughts about where the hell did we move.
Is this a swingers convention?
What did we just move into?
These couples keep going in and out of this house, and it has Cockstoberfest on the banner.
And they don't have their keys with them. They're in the fishbowl at the front desk.
And that guy doesn't wear sleeves. What the hell is going on?
But yeah, I'm drinking another beer in front of my neighbor, and Brett just comes up and punches me in the balls. And my neighbor's like, I don't even know his name. And he's like, you might need another beer tonight.
Oh, that's fucking funny. But yeah, a paper plate of whipped cream into your face. Let's make that happen. Go to YouTube, check out the NFL Pigs videos, as well as our show clips, our Brews Next, which we got to do another Brews Next sooner than later, and our full episode. So go check that out. You can pick up a shirt at our whatamaneuver.net store. Just search That Wrestling Podcast. And thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week on That Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks for listening. Follow That WrestlePod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
1, 2, 3, that's it!